So much, Mark. You can hop off. I'll send you this recording.
Thank you so much. I am going to get going. I appreciate your time.
Good luck in traffic.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
All right. Hi, Danielle. Thanks for sticking around. And I think you might be the only other. Oh, no, I have ARC Counseling and Wellness. I don't know who that is, but thank you both for being here. My training is going to look a little bit different than Mark's. This is going to be more like an intro to Lexis. It's going to be, I hope, a little bit more collaborative. Like, I hope that you'll be able to ask questions, Danielle, since it's just us on here. I'm happy to work a little bit more one-on-one with you. My name is Allison. For those of you watching this recording, nice to meet you. I am your research attorney and Lexis rep here at Golden Gate University. I'm also a recent law school grad, so these research problems, these research woes are not foreign to me. In fact, they are painfully recent, and I am always happy to chat, always happy to schedule one-on-ones for any Lexis functionality questions, or if you just have questions about life, law school, career prep, I'm happy to help with that as well. It looks like I have a question here. Marissa, nice to meet you here. Let me see if I can actually unmute you too so that you can ask questions. You had a hard time getting in and wondered if maybe other people did as well. You know what, that's a possibility. We'll send out this recording nonetheless, and maybe we'll schedule a second session.
Hey there.
There we go. Now you can chat. Is it Marissa?
Yes.
Perfect, Marissa. Awesome. Y'all are welcome to unmute if you have questions. We can make this a real quick but productive session. All right, so without further ado, I want to hop into this training. Let's chat about why we're here today. So we're going to cover, like I said, a really quick intro to Lexis, intro to legal research on Lexis. Specifically, we are going to cover, and y'all can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Perfect. We're going to cover what is Lexis, what Lexis is, and why and how we use it. We're going to chat about how to run a search, both for cases and statutes. We are going to do a brief research plan, which will just reinforce what you've already learned in your legal writing classes. And then lastly, we will touch on natural language and search strings searches. And Danielle, I have a great resource for you too. It's not so much a tutorial as is a cheat sheet on Boolean searching. So we'll cover that when we get there as well. All right, so what does Lexis do? What is it? I answer this question not because I think you don't already know, but because I needed the reminder when I was in law school. You're so early on in the legal process and your law school education, and you're thrown all these resources. You have no idea what any of them do, all these different logins and passwords, and it's just madness. So Lexis is the Google of law school. This is your database for all things legal research. You can find cases, primary sources like statutes, regulations, codes. You can find legal news. You can find treatises and guides, everything legal. You're going to come to Lexis instead of Google. This is your legal research database. You will likely be using it through the rest of your legal career. All of the AmLaw 100 and 200 firms use Lexis. So if you want to go into big law, Lexis is your tool. I think it's 70% of small firms also report using Lexis. So get familiar with it. It's going to be with you for a long time. So the first thing I want to show you is how to log in to your Lexis account. I'm going to do a new share here. Let's do share screen. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to log in to your Lexis account. And I popped that link up in the beginning, but it's www.com/law school. And when you log in, you will be brought to your law school homepage, which looks like this. We'll chat a little bit more about this in a second, but for now, I want to show you where you're going to go when you're ready to conduct legal research. You're going to go to this bright red box, can't miss it, go to Lexis Plus in the upper left-hand corner here. And you're going to be brought to your legal research homepage, which looks like this. On the left-hand side, you're going to see a couple different options here. Don't sweat about what any of these options mean. As a 1L, you're going to spend 99% of your time under this legal research button. Luckily, Lexis already has it selected for us, so we don't have to do any legwork. It is already there for us. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to pull up a case-by-case name. Super simple. Just like I said, it's the Google of law school. All you have to do is type in the case name. So I'm going to type in Mayo versus Satan. This is a real case where someone tried to sue Satan. I can click into it in the word wheel. You'll see that Lexis populated it there. I can hit the red magnifying glass, or I can click enter. and I am brought in to the text of my opinion. We will cover how to read through an opinion, how to read through an opinion specifically on Lexis. But for right now, I just want to highlight that when I type in the case name, it brings me into the text of the case. I can also pull up a case by case citation, which is just as simple. I'm going to pop back over to my Lexis Plus homepage. I'm going to type in the case citation. This would be like if it's in your syllabus, or maybe you heard it referenced somewhere and you have the case citation in front of you. I always recommend pulling up a case citation instead of by case name whenever possible. Why? Because a case citation is like this case's unique thumbprint. It belongs to this case and this case alone. When you are dealing with case names like Smith versus Jones or something that's really common, and you type that into Lexis or into Westlaw, you run the risk that you're going to pull up the wrong case because there are multiple Smith versus Jones. Lucky for us, there was only one Mayo versus Satan, but you are going to see cases that have similar party names. So whenever possible, pull up the case by case citation instead of by case name. All right, so we were brought into the text of our case here. Let's chat about how we read a case on Lexis. It's pretty simple. We see the name of the case up at the top here. You're going to cover this case in your contracts class if you haven't already. This is like this famous, you'll hear it referred to as like the what is chicken case. If you haven't read it, I promise I'm not crazy. That's really what it's referred to. You will see at the top here, there is the case citation, which is what we pulled the case up by. All right, if we scroll, not there. If we scroll down here, we are going to come to the different parts of the case. Our core terms are at the top. These are like the legal buzzwords. So you'll see chicken is there. I did not lie about it. That Lexis has bubbled up to the top of the opinion. It's going to be like those keywords, kind of tell you what area of law you're in. We see here regulations. We might be in a contract case that has to do with chicken. So that's what those core terms are. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see our case summary. Case summaries are valuable both in your legal writing and in your doctrinal classes. Case summaries consist of three parts. We have the procedural posture, we have the overview, and we have the outcome. The procedural posture is kind of like the case history. It's going to explain how our case got into this court. Was it appealed? Was it remanded? How did it get here? Our case overview is exactly what it sounds like. It's an overview of the case. It's going to give us an overview of the facts and the legal issue. If I scroll down a little further, I have the outcome, which is the outcome of the case, the actual holding of the court. I like to use case summaries after I've read through the opinion. I go back up to this case summary, make sure I understood what I just read. Additionally, if I want to hop up back to the top of the page, all I have to do is click this little blue arrow. You'll see for most, if not all, of your 1L doctrinal courses, you have this blue law school case brief button. Now, little caveat, of course, you should always read your assigned readings, but use this law school case brief button as a way to clarify your understanding before maybe midterm, before finals, fill in blanks in your outline. I'm going to show you what a law school case brief looks like. If I click into it, the case brief has a couple different parts. We have the rule, which is the rule of law extracted from the case, the actual holding of the court. I have the facts, which is an overview of the facts in the case. I have the issue, which is the legal issue in the form of a question, the answer, and then the conclusion, which is kind of like the court's reasoning behind that answer, how we got that rule of law. Now, you might be thinking, what is the difference between case briefs and case summaries? It's a nuanced difference, but there is a difference. Case briefs are exclusive to law students, whereas case summaries will be available to you on Lexis through the rest of your law school career. When you graduate and you're making big bucks in a big firm somewhere, this law school case brief button is going to disappear. So I tell students to use this as like a helpful tool, but not to rely too heavily on it because it won't be there when you're in practice. Instead, look at these case summaries because those will be there for the remainder of your legal career. All right, so we've covered case summary, case briefs, core terms. If we scroll down a little further, we're going to see headnotes. Now, unlike headnotes on Westlaw, headnotes on Lexis are not paraphrased. And that means something. That's valuable. Headnotes on Lexis are direct quotes from the opinion of the case. So you can actually cite to Lexis headnotes where you cannot cite to Westlaw's headnotes. We don't editorialize, we don't paraphrase, we take the exact language of the court, we bubble it up into these perfectly packaged little nuggets of law at the top of the case. So these are also a great way to make sure you're understanding what you're reading. After you read the opinion, you can come up and read these headnotes and make sure you understood the law that the court was conveying in this opinion. All right, so if you see on the left-hand side here, we have this little scroll bar. Instead of using my down arrow, which I've been doing, I can actually jump to different parts of the opinion and the document. So if I wanted to go to case summary, I could jump right there. Let's go ahead and jump down to opinion, which is exactly what it sounds like, the actual opinion of the court. Something great that Lexis allows you to do is highlight and annotate on the opinion. So I can actually highlight, I can highlight in different colors, I can annotate, leave a note. And then if I want, and I always recommend doing this, I can actually save it to a folder so that it's easily accessible for me later on. I always like to organize my cases by class. So I'll have like a torts folder, property folder, legal writing folder. If you have multiple legal writing assignments going on at the same time, sometimes it's helpful to save them in folders by issue or by point of law. That's just a little pro tip. And then if ever you forget to save something in a folder, no biggie, you can go back up to the top of the document and scroll up. Let's see here. Wow. Sorry, friends, a little bit of internet trouble always. And it will be saved in the history of your recent searches. So it is here, easily accessible. You can just click right back into it. Since it's just the couple of us, our statutes black letter law included in the black letter law included in the case brief when available. Yes, so the case brief are, let me actually, here, I'm gonna, Danielle, do you want to clarify your question? Are you asking if the rule of law in the case brief is black letter law? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking, you know, the one case brief that you showed us included some summaries, but it did not include like the statute or
So
like,
case,
that's what I'm curious if
yeah,
some of them that where they are, but they do include the statute in the case, if we will see it in the case brief.
Exactly. When a statute is at play, it will be in that case brief.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's a good question. So when a statute's at play, it will be in that case brief. So history, Lexis saves your history. This is a tool that I'm really excited to show you, Danielle. When you mentioned earlier that you were having Blue Book problems, you are not alone in that. Blue Booking is an art. It gets easier the more you do it. So I do recommend always having your Blue Book on hand and learning the process of Blue Booking. I promise it will get easier. But when in doubt, you can always come onto the case you're citing to and check your citation by clicking copy cite. If I go into this, I can click standard, apply. If I scroll down here, this is my case in Blue Book format. Standard is Blue Book. So when you're doing your writing process, Blue Book by all means, because you do need to know how to do that. But you can use this tool to check your citations. If you are ending up writing for a journal or somebody else, like maybe they use Allwood, your employer uses Allwood, you can always do that, apply that citation. Wherever you are doing citations, you can cite check by using this copy citation button. That's for the general citation. And then let's say you want to copy to an actual pin site, so like a specific part of the opinion, you can highlight. And then I'm going to do copy. And now it's copied to my, actually, I'll show you what it looks like. Here, copy advanced. Now I can cite to the pin site of that quote. So you'll see here, it pulls up the actual pin site line 117 for me. Do you have any questions on that so far? Or anything else we've covered?
I'm trying to do it on my computer. So I highlighted a bit of the opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't go to copy, I go to.
So you can go to copy quick, this one here, and then it's just going to copy to like, that's the same as if you did like Control C. It just isn't going to show you what you're copying. So I like going to copy advanced.
Okay.
Select standard. apply.
Standard.
And then if you scroll down, boom, there is your citation. And this little 117 is what we call a pin cite. It's citing to that specific line.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you.
It is
That's such a
so
great tip.
helpful. And honestly, I use it in practice. I never submit something without checking my cites, because like I said, blue booking is an art, and sometimes a misplaced period is like all that it is, but it's not correct if it has that misplaced period. So use this tool to check your work, make sure you are turning in accurate citations.
Right.
All right, so moving on right along. The next tool I'm going to show you is called Lexis Answers, and this is more for like doctrinal classes. So your torts, property contracts, whatever it may be. You're going to head back to your Lexis Plus homepage. And remember how I said that Lexis is like the Google of law school? She is smart. She has artificial intelligence backed answers. What that means is that you can type in a natural language question into Lexis, and Lexis will answer it for you in like a clear, concise, authoritative answer. So let's do elements of negligence, which seems to be a common theme between Mark and I today. We'll run that search. And Lexis, like I said, she's smart. She's going to realize I'm asking, hey, what are the elements of negligence? And right at the top here in this little answer flashcard, Lexis answers, it gives me a clear, concise answer of the 4 elements of negligence. It also gives me the case it pulled that answer from. And then if I want more authority, I can click more answers, and I'm going to get 10 more cases that directly answer my legal question. This is a great way to fill in holes in your outlines, get like a quick, clarified understanding, have Lexis open in class, search questions as they come up, because Lexis, like I said, has artificial intelligence that it leverages and understands you're asking a question and will give you a direct answer. So you'll be prepared for the calls, and you'll be able to fill in any holes in your outline. I just studied for the bar, months and months of bar prep, which is as bad as it sounds. And I really treated these like flashcards. I would think like, hey, what are the elements of larceny? And then I would try to come up with the answer on my own, and then check to make sure I got the right answer, running it through Lexis. It's a lot more reliable than Google. Don't go onto Google when you're preparing for exams. Just don't do it. All right, moving on. I want to cover today, I'm going to get into more legal writing. That was kind of more of like just an intro to Lexis in general. But now we are going to chat a little bit more about legal writing specifically. So legal writing, you've already probably covered how to formulate a research plan, what a research plan looks like. I'm going to show you how I approach legal research assignments. This is a great way to approach legal research assignments because it can be used through the rest of your legal career, whatever fact pattern you're presented with. This is the way to approach it. It's very simple. I'm going to pop a hypo up onto the screen here, and we'll work through it together. So our hypo, imagine you got this in your legal writing class or in your summer job. Your client thinks that her employer may be in violation of the Equal Pay Act. She states that she earns on average 20% less than her male colleagues. Your jurisdiction is in California. So before I even get started, I always like to think of these preliminary considerations. This is the most important in order of importance: jurisdiction. Big circle, underline, highlight jurisdiction. There is nothing worse than doing a ton of research for an assignment and finding Kentucky law when you're in California. Save yourself the legwork, save yourself the embarrassment. Always highlight, triple check that you are doing research in the right jurisdiction. The next thing I identify are the legal issues and the relevant facts. And then finally, the deadline. You're in law school, you've made it this far, you know how to get things in on time, so I'm not going to harp on that one too much. Legal issue and relevant facts. So the legal issue is exactly what it sounds like, the legal issue in the case, and the relevant facts are the facts that come into play with respect to the legal issue. So in our example here, the legal issue is whether or not the employer is violating the Equal Pay Act. Relevant facts might be that she's a female and that her male colleagues are earning 20% more than she is. So with all this in mind, let's look at what a research plan looks like. So I know Mark just showed this to you, and you've probably seen it in your legal writing classes. I always recommend starting with secondary authority. Fight the instinct to jump right into primary sources. 1Ls fight me on this. I fought it as a 1L. It is your instinct to go straight for case law, to go straight for statutes. Fight that. Do not reinvent the wheel. There are legal experts out there who have already written on the legal issue that you are writing about. So I recommend starting with secondary authorities, specifically treatises, and I'm going to hop over to Lexis in a second and show you why. But specifically treatises, so that I can orient myself with respect to the area of law I am studying or writing about. And then also these secondary sources often link out to relevant primary sources such as cases or statutes. So let's hop back over to Lexis. Perfect. Okay, hopping back over to Lexis. Perfect. So starting with that hypo, we know we're dealing with equal pay. We know we're dealing with equal pay with respect to gender, but we can start really broad with our search. We're going to start with natural language searching. We will get to Boolean searching, but let's start with our natural language, and we can start super broad. We're going to do equal pay. And then I'm going to click California, because remember, we want to highlight our jurisdiction. So important. Content, secondary materials, and I'm going to run this search. Now, there are a couple different ways I could have done that. I could have just searched equal pay and then limited my results on the left-hand side here to secondary materials. I could have also added my jurisdiction on the left-hand side here with this jurisdiction tab, but I like to do it from the homepage just to start right off the bat with a site list tailored to me. The next thing I want you to do is select treatises and guides. This is how I remember what treatises are. T for textbook, T for treatise. Treatises are these like textbooks written on your specific area of law. They are written by legal experts, and Lexis is going to cite, or rather sort your results in terms of relevance to your search term. So you'll see at the top here, I have Wilcox on California employment law. If you're familiar with employment law, you've probably heard of this. This is a leading authority on California employment law. So Lexis has found a leading authority relevant to my search term. It's popped right up at the top here. I can click into this, read about the Equal Pay Act, and probably, if I read through this, find links to relevant cases, leading authoritative cases and statutes on my area of law.
And Allison,
yeah,
you know, as you discuss this, I'm just looking at the page, and I'm curious, do we know, you know, you said this was the leading authority on equal pay, and is that, do you know that partly because of the name, but are we supposed to be gathering any information from this bar with all of these different sort of green?
Oh, this thing here?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're supposed to use that to help guide us to useful.
You can, yeah. So this is called our search term maps feature. What Lexis is trying to do here is trying to save you time by highlighting your search terms within the text of the authority. You'll see that this little star here represents the part of the authority that has the heaviest concentration of my search terms. Lexis is smart, so you don't have to know that Wilcox is the leading authority on California employment law. Lexis does that work for you. You're going to get the leading, most relevant result up at the top. That's how Lexis works. Most authoritative, most relevant up at the top. So you don't have to like do that legwork, but it is helpful to use this little search term maps to hop to the parts of the document that use your search terms. If I had like multiple search terms up here, maybe I had equal pay and gender, Lexis would highlight equal pay in one color, gender in another color. I can hop through different parts of the document that use my search terms. It's really just to save you time, bring you right into parts of the document that are relevant to you, because sometimes these are long treatises. So instead of scrolling and spending like a gazillion hours scrolling through a document, hop right into the parts that are relevant to you. All right. So let's say we read through this, we are ready, maybe we found, and chances are we found some leading case law, relevant statutes for us. Now we are ready to hop over to primary sources. I'm going to go back to the top of my page. I can run a new search. This gives me the full functionality of Lexis. For now, I'm going to go back to my Lexis Plus homepage just for illustrative purposes. And let's chat a little bit about Boolean versus natural language searching. So natural language searching is exactly what it sounds like, and it's easy. Use your natural language to search just like you would on Google or any other search engine. Boolean searching is intimidating at first, but you do not have to memorize terms and connectors. In fact, do not waste your time memorizing terms and connectors. They will become more intuitive the more you go along. But for now, these first couple months of legal research, I want you to do this. Go to your Lexis Plus homepage, your starting point for all things legal research. You're going to click advanced search in the bottom right-hand corner. And you will see on the right-hand side, Lexis has this little cheat sheet for you. It has the terms, the most popular terms and connectors, and it explains what they do. There's also this like search terms template. I don't even recommend messing around with that so much because I think, like I said, you're law students, you're smart, you can figure this out. Build your confidence using the terms and connectors. You can use this as like a little refresh and then pop back over to your Lexis Plus homepage or type in your search string here. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's look at, specifically, I'm going to cover the most common terms and connectors. So the most common are and, or, quotations, proximity connectors, which is what this is, and I'll explain. And then this little root expander, which Mark covered on. So let's build a search based on our hypo. We know we're dealing with equal pay. I think the research maxim that I always tell students to come back to is to start with what you know. It doesn't have to be funky, it doesn't have to be crazy, it doesn't have to be highly detailed. Start with what you know, what is given to you in the facts, especially in school. Your professors are giving you a set of facts, a hypo designed to be researched. So plug in what you know, start with what you know. We're going to do equal pay. Now, the first terms and connector I want to show you is quotations, or rather are quotations. When I put something in quotations, Lexis, Westlaw, you can actually even Google with Boolean searching. Your search engine is going to search for this exact term. It's going to search for what you put into the quotations. I'm always hesitant with quotations because sometimes students think that means they need to put everything in quotations. You don't. Like I said, and I'll say again and again and again, Lexis is smart. Lexis recognizes commonly used terms of arts, legal phrases. It's going to recognize equal pay as one single term. You saw that when we ran our search previously, it highlighted it as one word in green because it recognizes that it's a term of art. It's meant to be run together. So I don't need to put it in quotations. You can, if you're feeling like you really want to be careful or you're not sure if it's a term of art, then maybe you could put it in quotations. And again, Lexis will run it as that exact term. The reason I'm cautious about the quotations is because sometimes, like if you have a plural, like let's say you had like Mark's example, scooters and scooter, and you put this in quotations, scooter, it wouldn't find plural, like it wouldn't find scooters with an S because it's exactly looking for scooter within the quotations. It's not going to find the plural. So that's why sometimes I'm hesitant to use quotations, and I actually recommend you to start without quotations. If ever you're unsure if it's a term of art, then add those quotations. So, and our next term and connector does exactly what it sounds like. It adds the next term. So equal pay and gender. This is going to find results that contain the term equal pay and the term gender. Now, let's say I want to get a little more tailored. I can add or sex. What Lexis is going to do right now is find a results list that contains gender or sex and the term equal pay. So like, remember PEMDAS way back in the day in like elementary school math, order of operations, it's going to prioritize this or, then it's going to add the equal pay. So it will find equal pay with the results gender or sex. The next terms and connector that I find really helpful is the root expander. So let's do, Mark gave a great example, negligence and scoot. If I do this little exclamation point, it's going to find all variations of the root word scoot. So scooting, scooter, scooted, scoot. I think that's it. I don't even know if scooted is a word, but it's going to find all variations of the word scoot. And then finally, I want to show you our proximity connector. And this one is going to be helpful maybe as you start to read through sources, you kind of start to learn like, oh, hey, the cases that I found that are relevant to me tend to have equal pay in the same sentence as the word sex. So I can get really specific with my search and I can type in equal pay / and then let's do like 4 words with that. I can put 4 of sex And now Lexis is getting even more tailored for me. It's going to find equal pay within 4 words of the word sex. Super tailored. You can play with this, get more and more tailored as you go. Of course, always limit to jurisdiction. So I'm going to show you, let's go back to our Lexis Plus homepage just for demonstration purposes. Let's do equal pay within 4 words of sex or gender. I'm going to limit, actually, I'll show you how we would limit jurisdiction on our results list. So we get this giant results list of 999 cases. You do not have time to read through 999 cases. Nobody wants you to do that. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to go to court, and we're going to go to California. And then we are going to have a list of 22 cases, way more doable. This is equal pay within 4 words of sex or gender. If I scroll down here, I can see Lexis highlighted my search terms. So like I said, I can jump directly into the parts of the opinion that are valuable to me. And then I can read through these and see if maybe this is something on point for my case. Now, I'm not going to cover shepherds in today's training because I actually have a training scheduled next month for that, which I will be advertising by email, so no worries. But shepherds are these little symbols next to your case name. For now, don't worry too much about them. Maybe you've touched on them in your legal research classes, but it is something I'm going to do a full training dedicated just to shepherds on in October. So for now, I don't want you to sweat those too much. All right, friends, the final thing I want to show you are Lexis rewards. I would not be a Lexis associate if I did not chat with you about Lexis rewards. So Lexis is the only legal research platform that's going to pay you to do legal research. What does that mean? Every time you attend a training, like each of you are getting 350 points today. If you opt into daily research points, you get 10 points every day that you do research. Every 350 points equates to $5. And that is real money. I'm going to show you what that looks like. You can actually cash out that money, or rather those points, for things like Amazon gift cards, Starbucks gift cards. You'll see here, I'm opted into daily research points. To get there, all I did was from my law school homepage, click manage rewards, and then opt in. Again, that's going to give you 10 points every day that you run a search. And then you can redeem those points for pretty much anything you want. Chipotle gift cards. My 1L year got a Disney gift card so that I could buy Disneyland tickets. But definitely take advantage of those because so few things in law school are free, and even better, so few things actually pay you. So take advantage of that. And then finally, I'm going to pop my contact info and our support line up on the screen. Let's do this. All right. So this is my contact info. Write it down, screenshot it, do what you need. You can reach me by call or text. I'm seriously happy to answer calls and texts. So please, please, please reach out if you have questions about Lexis functionality, or you are having any like access issues, things like that. My email is also on the screen. And then I love this feature, 24/7 Lexis support. So if it's 2 in the morning and you can't get into your Lexis account or you need help with something, please, please, please use this resource. If you're pulling an all-nighter, so is Lexis. Certainly use it, take advantage of it. We cannot obviously teach to your problem, your specific legal writing assignment, but if you have like doctrinal class research questions or research questions outside of your legal writing classes, they can also answer those. These are research attorneys on the other line. Wow, how many points did you need for Disney? So every 350 points is $5. I think I had cashed them out for an $80 gift card. So whatever that means, let's do the math really fast. Let's do 80 divided by 5 times 350. 5,600 points. So you can get points by, like I said, I send out weekly emails on Mondays. Those weekly emails have 100-point opportunities in them. You can complete the quiz in those weekly emails for 100 points. Like I said, these trainings, usually 350 points. My Shepherd's training, which is like that little symbol that I touched on, that training next month is going to be 350 points. I think, well, I know we're doing like a social media promo right now. So if you follow us on Instagram, which is, what is our Instagram? ggulaw.lexisnexis. I'll put it in the chat. All of these are ways that you can get rewards points. law. And it's a bummer because you're not on campus, so you don't get to see like what your peers cash out their rewards points for, but people on campus go wild for rewards points because why not get paid to do your assignments, right? All right, I can't see or use chat for some reason, huh?
Yeah, the chat's disabled, but I put stuff in the Q&A.
Okay, let me see if I do this.
Yeah, and I can't even see all of your Q&As, Danielle.
What the heck is working or happening to us? Let's do. Let me see if I do. I'm going to try to chat you directly.
I did notice that on Lexis when I was on it earlier or yesterday about the points, and I just disregarded, but thanks for that. That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely opt in to research points, which I
just opted in.
Yay, love it. Yeah, 10 points every day. I think if you, I did the math early on, but if you research like every day from September to winter break, and ran a search every day, I think that's like $20. It could be more than that. I don't know. But definitely it adds up. And when I was in law school, I had a girl my 3L year who saved up her points all through law school. So she had like just this fat sum of points, and she bought herself a Roomba vacuum, which she was really excited about. People have bought Apple gift cards and bought themselves Apple watches. Yeah, there's no shortage of goodies you can buy. I'm a big fan of just treating myself to some Chipotle once in a while, but that's me.
Oh, I know. And there's one that's so close to campus, which makes it really convenient too.
So nice. So nice. Where are you each located?
I'm in Portland, so I fly in. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Marissa?
I'm in Southern California.
Oh, nice. We're in Southern California. I'm from Southern California.
Oh, I live in Pasadena.
Oh, nice. Okay, LA. Got it. Dope.
Yeah.
Love it. So if you have any questions right now, since it's just the three of us, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to chat. I actually, you know what I'll do? I'll stop the recording. So thank you all. If you watched this recording bearing with us, please feel free to email or reach out with any questions. Thanks, friends. Let me figure out how to stop this recording. Stop recording.